everybody. Holy crap. This is episode 17 of the Red Pandacast. Holy crap, I didn't even know we're up to episode 17. But, let's kind of hop into it and get it done with. Shall we, guys? So we're trying out some different stuff at the moment with settings and everything, so that should be thoroughly weird. But hopefully it also works well as well, so yeah. We're starting off with The Guardian, which apparently is rent's rising for everyone because rent rises, but apparently it's the fastest pace for 13 years. I mean, that kind of makes sense because we had this. Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. It actually makes less sense. Oh, that's like kind of bad then. Okay, so what we had recession in 2009, so that would be like 13 years ago. This will be 2008 that rent prices were rising. And then we're like, fine. But now they're rising again, apparently. And it's worse than back when we had a full-blown recession in the UK. So, okay. That's bad. That one I can actually get behind and say that's bad. So, oh my god, yeah, private sector rents. We're up 4.6% higher than a year earlier at £968 a month on average, marking the strongest growth. Oh god. There's no strong growth? The what? How do you rate that as marking the strongest growth? That's not a strong growth. That isn't like something to be proud of. That should be written negatively. That should be marking the abysmal growth or something. Like the terrible, the damnable, the... I don't even know. I don't even have words for this right now. But what? The strongest growth? It's not growth when the economy hasn't grown and inflation is up. So excluding London rents across the UK were up 6% annually. A figure that Zoopla says was a 14-year high. So let's get with that. It's bad. Bad. People aren't earning more and are paying more for rent. So more homeless people, basically. More people who are in poverty. More people who are suffering. So yeah. Well done. Not introducing rent caps. Because why have why make it so rent is actually regulated, right? Why have that? Because that's a crazy idea. That's too far-fetched for people to understand. Imagine a world though where rent was rate controlled and regulated and actually fair. Shocking, I know. I'm speaking about things that no one should ever speak about because, ooh, damnable. That sounds like socialism. You don't want to, I didn't want to tell you that you're talking about socialism, right? So we move on to the next story, which is about Meta, aka Facebook. This one's from CNN. Obviously we know Facebook changed the name to Meta because reasons. Mark Zuckerberg had an idea and they changed the name to Meta, basically. I think that sums it up pretty much. He changed it to Meta because he wants to be the leader of the metaverse, so... enjoy that in your future, guys. Enjoy that in all of our futures. But anyway, New York CNN business. This is where it's written, but this is Ohio, so... Ohio lawsuit. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost on Monday announced that he is suing Meta, the social media giant formerly known as Facebook, based on revelations from whistleblower Frances Hogan, and the trove of internal company documents she leaked. The securities lawsuit filed on behalf of the Ohio Public Employees Retirement System and other investors alleges that the company misled the public about its algorithm and the harms the company's own research showed its apps can cause to users. It claims the Facebook turned Meta executives violated securities law by making false statements about the safety, security, and privacy of its platforms in order to boost its stock. Now, where does this sound familiar? Now, this sounds familiar because this sounds a bit like Activision. This sounds a lot like where investors were accusing Activision of willfully knowing that bad things were going on that affected the stock. It didn't tell them. Well, this is the exact same thing that Meta is getting sued for by the Ohio Attorney General. You know, people are looking at this a lot more when you start lying about stuff. So, yeah. The shares have fallen for Meta around about 7% since reporting on Hogan's claims came out and internal documents began leaking 2 months ago. Allowing investors to the tune of around more than $100 billion, apparently, according to the lawsuit. Meta repeatedly misinterpreted to investors and the public that use of Facebook products does not cause harm to children, and that the company takes aggressive and effective measures to stop the spread of harmful content, and that Facebook applies its standards of behavior equally to all users, the lawsuit alleges. Facebook investors recently learned the truth when a former Facebook employee turned whistleblower, Francis Hogan, came forward with internal documents showing that defendants were aware that Facebook's platform facilitated dissension, illegal activity, and violent extremism, and caused significant harm to users. The complaint states it lists the company as well as the CEO, Zuckerberg, CFO David Wenner, and Vice President of Global Affairs Nick Clegg as defendants. The lawsuit is without merit, and we will defend ourselves vigorously. A Meta spokesman Andy Stone said in a statement to CNBC. So CNN Business. Yeah, and the Wall Street Journal obviously posted stuff, and yeah. So apparently last month, though, another former Facebook employee anonymously filed a complaint against the company to the SEC. How does that sound familiar? Because there's also been a complaint against Activision to the SEC. So, yeah, this isn't looking good for a lot of companies. And it looks like Facebook and Activision are going to be the ones that get their fair share of scrutiny and loving government attention and public attention from everyone. So that will be one we'll have to keep an eye on, see how it goes and stuff. But I will not expect it to go well. Meta Facebook might be okay, but I honestly do not see the whole Activision Blizzard stuff going well at all. That's a lot more damning. This is speculative and could be swung either way, depending on what kind of arguments are presented in court. Whereas Activision Blizzard's pretty goddamn damning. So we're going to move on to Tmz Sports. Well, TMZ. Nike, don't really care for it. Don't like the company. Sweatshops, all that. Whatever. You want to call it cheap labour? I don't know. Like, what's the word? Cheap. I don't like the way they cut corners. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about Nike because I really don't care about the company. But I do care about that they've postponed their Air Max 1 release that was meant to be about Travis Scott. So Travis Scott's latest Nike collab will not be hitting the shelves anytime soon. The swoosh has decided to postpone the Air Max 1X Cactus Jack, released due to the Astroworld Festival tragedy. The swoosh? Is that what it's called? Wait, what? Is that a weird nickname for Travis Scott? Because, jeez. If I was known as a swoosh, I would, yeah. That's actually left me kind of speechless because, wow. Alright, yeah, we're going to move on from that. The Brown kicks with Slay. Jesus Christ, these are shoes. Who gives a fuck? The shoes were slated to go live on December 16th at 7 a.m. But just minutes ago, Nike announced it will not go through with drop. Out of respect of everyone impacted by the tragic events, we are postponing the launch of the Air Max I mean, honestly, really did go see how bad this affects Travis Scott and whether it's even worth doing it. They'll probably like chuck out stock that they have. That will definitely happen. Obviously, the ones that they've already made. But apart from that, like, I think pretty much Nike's like, stop production on these because this shit might not sell. Yeah. Oh, and obviously I said the other day on the video that the death toll is now 10 people from Astroworld, and it's horrible, and I don't want to stick on that because it's not that I want to talk about it, but I've talked about it a lot. Please do watch the other videos and stuff about it. But this one comes from Consequence, and it's about Ridley Scott. Someone who I like. I like a lot of Ridley Scott's films, so yeah, this is funny. Ridley Scott might have established himself as a sci-fi master with Blade Runner, made his mark in the venture movie canon with Thelma and Louise, and dabbled in dramatic biopics with the upcoming House of Gucci. But there's one film genre he can't seem to get on board with: superhero blockbusters. In a new interview with Deadline, the renowned The Last Duel director voiced his gripes against the category, deeming them fucking boring shit. Oh god, I love Ridley Scott, man. Scott somehow... This is also the thing about this. Dude, just like, Scott somehow got onto the topic of big screen superheroes while talking about Kitbag. His forthcoming film based on Napoleon Bonaparte, and how his idol Stanley Kubrick was never able to finish the epic Napoleon film he inspired to make. I feel you can't do Napoleon in one battle, Scott said, so I narrowed it down to this narrowed down script. Almost always the best films are driven by the characters, and we'll come to superheroes after this if you want, because I'll crush it. I'll fucking crush it. They're boring as shit. Their scripts are not any fucking good. Scott does have a broad definition of superhero, however. He acknowledged that his 1979 masterpiece Alien positions star Sigourney Weaver as a superhero of sorts. I think I've done 3 great scripted superhero movies, he continued. Also citing 2000's Gladiator. So why don't superhero movies have better stories? Sorry, I got off the rail, but I mean, come on. They're mostly saved by special effects, and that's becoming boring for everyone who works with special effects. If you've got the money. And I think he actually hits it a nail on the head, right? Special effects are great and stuff, right? You can watch an amazing action picture, a war story, all of these films, right? And they'll have these amazing special effects, and studios, not only is it easier to do the things that the industry's been doing and do it on a scale where it's awe-inspiring regardless of pretty much studio. Don't get me wrong. Money is power. And there are studios who will invest a lot into a project and blow your mind still. But there's also very, very affordable special effects that these companies are shutting out, basically, into their films. It's not just Marvel, it's DC, it's Sony, it's everywhere. Like, there's no one company that you can say isn't doing this. So I think when he says, like, a lot of superhero movies, they have special effects but don't have substance, yeah, I feel that's fair. And maybe he'll be the guy to reignite the superhero genre by actually bringing us a worthy story that we want to listen to, that we want to watch, that we want to hear, and that resonates with the audience, opposed to the shit flicks we have. Not saying they're all bad, but most of them rely upon the special effects a lot more than they do upon the story. Whereas if you create something captivating, then yeah, you don't necessarily need special effects as much. I mean, what was the last sci-fi film that you watched that you were like, wow, this is amazing? I can't think of one apart from like Avatar. And even then, I'm talking about Avatar as in Avatar, like James Cameron Avatar, not M. Night Shyamalan. Like, no. I mean, that Avatar was okay, but it was not as good as TV series. Everyone who's watching the animated series, yeah. If you watch that film after watching that animated series, oh boy, were you disappointed. I know I was. So we're going to move on to the next story, and this is CNBC. Activision Blizzard shares drop after report CEO allegedly knew about the misconduct. Activision Blizzard shares dropped more than 5% Tuesday, following a report that alleged CEO... What do you mean that alleged CEO? The CEO is budget... But this is what I mean when I say when I'm reading an article. Following a report that alleged CEO Bobby Kotick knew about the misconduct allegations at the company. That should be following a report that CEO Bobby Kotick allegedly knew about. See, there's a difference when you put words in. Oh god, never mind. They'll never learn, even if I say it. So yeah, basically, a lot of bad stuff happened at the company, and apparently Bobby Kotick knew all about it. News comes as the video company faces a series of investigations of its workplace practices, including how it handled allegations of misconduct and discrimination, blah, blah, blah. So its stock is tanked by 5%. And its stock was already tanking pretty badly before, so another big 5% drop is not a good thing. And yeah, Activision says that the report was inaccurate and a misleading view of the company's CEO. Well, it doesn't exactly... I'm sorry, but... Really? What? We are disappointed in the Wall Street Journal's report. The Wall Street Journal. They're disappointed in the Wall Street Journal. A newspaper notorious for breaking news stories. They are disappointed in their reporting, which presents an inaccurate and misleading view of the Activision Blizzard and our CEO. An Activision Blizzard spokesman said, instances of misconduct that were brought to his attention were acted upon. That's why people are storming out, right? That's why currently Activision Blizzard just calls for Bobby Kotick's resignation, and then employees have staged a walkout. So social media is aflame with demands that the video game industry exec Bobby Kotick resign from his position as CEO of Activision Blizzard in the wake of reporting from the Wall Street Journal about his own terrible treatment of women. Leading the charge are Activision Blizzard employees themselves, who are planning another walkout today in response to the report's revelations. We will not be silenced until Bobby Kotick has been replaced as CEO and continue to hold our original demand for third-party review by an employee-chosen source. AB Key Workers Alliance, an advocacy group made up of current Activision Blizzard employees, announced on Twitter, "We're staging a walkout today. We welcome you to join us." I mean, do you blame them? Like, this has got to be horrible for the people working at Activision Blizzard, right? All this stuff's been coming out over the last years. It's been coming out over years, right? And they've been demanding change and gotten no change in terrible working conditions and basically treated as objects and not people. Like, some of the stuff that's happened, is allegedly happened, has been horrific, right? So, I'm not surprised they're walking out. I'm surprised that I didn't do it sooner. But it gets worse because the board, oh god, and only apparently the board is behind Bobby Kotick. So this comes from Jason Schreier, who is a well-respected source who often breaks stories and news. So in response to an explosive story reporting that Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick knew about various misconduct and harassment allegations and was himself a perpetrator, an employee walked out today demanding Kotick's resignation. The board says it's standing by him. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you all this because of the way my screen works, because... Oh, that might actually sort of work. It's kind of there. The Activision Blizzard board remains committed to the goal of making Activision Blizzard the most welcoming and inclusive company in the industry. Well, that's a bloody joke right there. Under Bobby Kotick's leadership, the company is already implementing industry-leading changes, including a zero-tolerance harassment policy. Really, that's industry-leading, is it? To not be harassed at work? A dedication to achieving significant increases to the percentages of women and non-binary people in our workforce, and significant internal and external investments to accelerate opportunities for diverse talent. The board remains confident that Bobby Kotick appropriately addressed workplace issues brought to his attention, except his own. Oh my god, this is infuriating. The goals we have set for ourselves are both critical and ambitious. The board remains confident in Bobby Kotick's leadership, commitment, and ability to achieve these goals. Let's just retweet that, shall we? Give that a little retweet there. Yeah, I bet they do. That's absolutely absurd. The board's under investigation anyway for, as I said earlier on, there's various lawsuits and they're being looked into by federal agencies due to their handling of this entire situation, where investors are not happy with the board. So the board are in much as shit's creek as is Bobby Kotick. And I hope that this goes absolutely terribly for them, because frankly, holy shit, I feel so sorry for those employees. And not even the employees. I feel sorry for people who've had to interact with these people, because there's other instances as well where they were not an employee but were looking towards a job at Activision Blizzard and they were harassed because fuck Activision Blizzard, fuck Call of Duty, fuck that entire company. Literally, I will not play any of their games again. I haven't. So we're moving on to Kotaku. Battlefield 2042 feels like the wrong game at the wrong time. Some player are already throwing Fs in the chat for EA's latest shooter. When I nail an MV-38 Condor transport hovering in the lens flare-filled sky with my rocket launcher, Battlefield 2042 is awesome. When my squad bursts onto the Climaton scene in a massive tank, ramming through debris and blowing up abandoned office buildings, it's a thrill to return to DICE's militarized playground. When a round of all-out warfare starts up with 63 other internet strangers rush towards the first objective, while explosions rain down overhead, it feels like we're about to unfold. Next will be something surprising, bold, special. Instead, it's a train wreck. The chaos that ensues is somewhat predictable quality to it. Squads split up, players try to run quickly to where the action is, only to be picked off by snipers or ripped to shreds by flankers. They then rush to respawn because they know nobody's coming to revive them. Vehicles smash into walls or violently whip around as gunners try to aim without getting nauseous. Eventually a match ends. And you win or lose. But this outcome will probably only feel tangentially related to whatever larger struggle is transpired. Oh god, that killed me. Oh god, that nearly did me in. One of the core issues stems from the fact that Battlefield's traditional roles have been remixed to hell. Heroes have replaced the assault, medic, engineer, and scout archetypes, and you can now mix and match perks like wingsuits, and grappling hooks with sniper rifles and rocket launchers. It's liberating and fun to mess around with, but also severely amplifies the existing chaos, especially when it's not very easy to quickly identify the specific capabilities and builds of your surrounding teammates. Oh god, that actually sounds really bad. I'm not going to say that they won't fix it, but that actually sounds bad. I could read all of this. I don't feel like I should read all of this. I feel like that would be a crazy thing to do. But I think the takeaway is that it's messy. I can see how not having predefined classes would cause issues because you won't have people necessarily playing medic. Oh, you won't have a balance, right? In fact, in Battlefield, wasn't there a limit on who could play what class? I'm sure there was a limit on who could play what class. Where it was, there was this many medics, there was this many assault, there was this many scouts, etc. Like, you had to wait for a slot to open. So with this mix and match stuff, it sounds like that's gone. Which might seem liberating, but except I can actually understand why that would cause issues. Yeah. I'm going to play tomorrow anyway. So we're going to play some Battlefield 2042 tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes, but it might be chaotic by the sound of this. But yeah, apparently Halo's smashing it out the water when it comes to FPS shooters compared to Battlefield. We'll have to talk about that in a separate video though tomorrow. But yeah, apparently Battlefield just landed at a very, very bad time. So Amazon's game switches off New World entire economy after players discover a duping glitch. So yeah, this is not a good one. This is a issue. You never want duping glitches in your game. But apparently over the weekend, New World players discovered the glitch in Amazon's games. Recently launched MMO, and not for the first time. This one allowed players to duplicate furniture among many, many other items. Though the duping of trophies, furniture that buffs you in the world, rare and expensive, is what some folk extremely hot under the collar. And players could use this glitch to duplicate a particularly expensive item and sell it for free money. Oh, get rich schemes. I can understand why it turned servers off though, but that's bad. Duping glitches are bad, and New World start wasn't exactly picture perfect, was it? And the numbers have dropped off significantly, so I can imagine this turned. Well, actually, I can imagine it brought some people back, but once it's fixed, it'll turn people away again. But yeah, I can imagine it brought some people back, but I can imagine this turned a lot of people away as well, because it made them feel like, nah, why am I playing this if this can happen? So it's like, what's the point? There's no like real economy kind of shit. Economy's important, right? And when stuff like this happens, it ruins the economy. Although Amazon did disable the economy, so kudos to Amazon for doing that, because switching off the economy means that there is less to fix in terms of where you were to where you are now. But that will suck for the time being, because obviously no economy means you can't do stuff, and yeah, that's not good as well. So frustrating all around for players, and yeah. With players who posted the methodology explaining they tried to report it through back channels before going public after Amazon Games took no action. Ooh. I saw the other post on the potential trophy duplication and thought I'd throw a few minutes at replication, right to player, and then poverty. Turned out to be very easy to do. I was on the fence about posting the details like this. Previously sent from my company mate. A reporting item duplication fell on deaf ears. Out in the open seems to be the only way to go. That's not good where you don't have good communication with the community. And they try to tell you stuff is broken and you're not listening. I can understand why people were upset about that one. And why that would have caused issues. Also though, apparently, the video showing the duplication glitch was taken down off YouTube. This is what they've written here. I don't know whether that was copyright strike, but if that was, which we'll have to find out, don't quote me on it because I don't know, that is pretty shitty thing to do. Because in one, you're allowed to actually publicly show glitches. You are. It's an educational thing. It's also a public thing because people should know that things are vulnerable. So you should get warning. Should you go that way first? No. But if you try to contact the company and they're doing nothing, then saying, hey, this is how you do this thing, it's a problem because it's causing this to happen, is a very valid thing to do. And people have been doing it for a very long time. So yeah, and there's also a lot of YouTube channels that show glitching for speed runs, etc. that is not designed in the game, and they don't get taken down as well. But we're gonna move on to the gaming stuff. Let's start with Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, enhanced for PC. So yeah, apparently Senua's Sacrifice has had an update, which is interesting. I didn't know it was gonna have an update. It's quite an interesting game to update because it's been out for a while now. But apparently it's had a lot of things done to it, including having fidelity super resolution added, AMD's software technology for the graphics cards, which should improve performance. Let's have a look at this to see what it looks like.
Come back to us. Senua.
Do you hear them? They're calling for me.
This game still looks beautiful.
She's changing.
This game was always a beautiful game though. Madness. There's a new one coming out as well. Can't remember what it's called though. But I'm looking forward to a new one when that comes out.
I'll find you, man. I promise.
But basically they've added this changes they made to Xbox to PC, as well as adding some PC features like Nvidia DLSS and AMD's FSR.
I made a promise, and I will go to hell.
Madness. Yep, so it won 5 Game Awards and stuff. I mean, the actress won the BAFTA for it, which is awesome, right? Voice actors winning BAFTAs. She's working really hard for the next one as well, to do the stunt scenes and everything as a body double and stuff. It's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it because the development looks good and they're doing some really interesting work with level design, the topography. They're going above and beyond with the topography with the next Hellblade. So DirectX ray tracing, DLS and FSR support, updated materials and particles, accessibility updates, and chapter select. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Good update. Good update. So we're going to move on to announcement, well, a launch trailer for Ruined King, a League of Legends story. I don't play League of Legends, but it's popular right now, right? With Arcane League of Legends coming out on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. I think I'm out on Netflix. Yeah, must have been. I can't imagine it coming out on anything else, so yeah. Let's go through this one.
Alright, people, listen up. We've got a harrowing to stop. And remember, from here on out, it's Captain Fortune.
I like the artwork for this.
The black mist.
So, I don't know if this is a new character or not.
I will drive it back.
Or
I'm not losing my city
new...
to the delusions of some second-rate king.
It has to be...
Swallow everything. With our combined might, no challenge is too great.
I won't abandon my duty. Not again.
Okay.
It's time for the truth to come to light.
I don't know what this is part of. Explore Runeterra's depths. Oh, this is a game.
You seek, he stirs the mist.
Oh.
Maybe we are doomed.
Interesting. So they've changed it.
God has forsaken us.
They have changed it. They made a new game. By the looks of it. A standalone game? Interesting. This actually might be something I end up playing eventually.
One queen. My queen.
This might be something I end up playing eventually. Ruined King, a League of Legends. So it's a standalone story. That's cool. I guess that ties in with the Arcane series then. And why they kind of made that. Awesome. So we got another one, which is the Dragon Ball The Breakers announcement trailer. Let's hop into this one, shall we? I know there's a new Dragon Ball game coming out, but apparently here it is, so... yeah. Looks pretty. Wait, oh god, he's got big ears. Wait, what? His ears are huge. Piccolo? No, that isn't Piccolo, that's freaking... oh, what's his face? That's gonna bug me now. C. Cell. There we go, Cell. Jesus, I forgot his name then. It's how long I haven't watched this far. That's Raider, apparently. That's Cell, right? Oh, this looks weird. And doesn't look good either. What's this going to be like, prop ones? It's meant to be like prop one or something? Yo, this one's weird. I have no idea what to make of this game at all. It's kind of mental. It's like, what? That's Cell, right? That is Cell. Bulma? Okay. We're not gonna watch more of that. That looks weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what the game's gonna look like because it's an announcement trailer, but that looks weird. Okay, so final one is Total Warhammer 3. And they're changing up the way the battle mechanics work in Total Warhammer series, so thought that was kind of an interesting one. So let's watch this one, shall we?
Battles in Total War Warhammer 3 are evolving. We have added new features, improvements, and quality of life changes that will help you defeat or unleash your demons. Using all
I haven't played a Total War game in ages.
Their potential will be the key to victory.
But there is some interesting stuff in this.
No longer the limit for flying units. Now,
I thought this was the most interesting one. Flying units can now do stuff.
A wide range of tactical moves. Soar over your foe with your flying horses, land, and charge their flanks for greater impact and damage. To launch your units
that's
back
cool.
into the air again, they will need
That's
to be
like
out
cool.
of combat for several seconds, so plan your maneuvers carefully.
That's
Knowing how far you can push your units
that's
is
an interesting
important for
change.
any general. You can now see if your troops are in a braced stance by this shield icon. If your men are braced, you can be more confident that they can take the brunt of a charge with minimal casualties.
Ooh.
We've also introduced
Nice.
lazy health bars, which highlight any sudden bursts of large damage. They allow greater readability of how much damage has been dealt in the last few seconds of combat, making it easier to grasp how much impact certain spells or charges have.
That's interesting.
These spells and abilities are now calculated percent per second rather than a flat value.
I need like an opinion of someone who actually plays Total War Warhammer more religiously.
For several seconds.
But these seem like actually pretty good improvements to the game to liven it up a bit.
A new slow motion casting option for spells and abilities to ensure better placement for maximum effectiveness. Ticking this box means that
from what
as
I've
soon as you
seen,
select a spell or ability to cast,
I can imagine a lot of people enjoying this.
enter half play speed. Once
I can't
your
see
spell
people
is
not
cast,
enjoying
you'll
this.
return to normal speed.
I feel like these are good changes.
It's important to know what all your
But I haven't
units are
played in a
doing,
long time,
and in
so
the heat of a tense
you know,
battle,
I
it's
don't
easy
know.
to forget or overlook units. We have now
I might
added
be
an
wrong
idle
about it.
unit hotkey that can quickly locate any unit not in combat or
Hmm.
following a movement order. By default, pressing / will cycle
All
through
right.
every unit that is not engaged
That's
in
cool.
battle, and control /
Easy going
will
through.
select all units not engaged. We have added
Interesting.
a few features that improve readability on the battlefield. We have now got improved foliage culling distance, which allows
That's
better
cool.
visibility in heavily forested areas and maps. New
That is
occlusion
some
outlines
interesting
highlight units
changes.
that are behind objects
That
with a
is some
colour
good changes that have came in. I like the idea of that. I really, really do. I don't know whether I played Total Warhammer though, because Total War Warhammer 3, because you know, you gotta put some time into it, and stuff, and it's not exactly cheap to play, which is valid because it is a very good game and they put a lot of work into it, and their expansions are usually quite large. So I can understand why it would cost money that it does, but at the same time, it's not, you know, it's not for everyone to invest in. But anyways, guys, we're gonna call it here. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in whatever happens tomorrow.